everybody. So, welcome back. Another episode of Lunar Confessions. Today, we're here with Dave of Sys Machine and Derision Cult. Thank you so much for joining us, and we're just gonna go right into it. Introduce yourself and where are you from?
Yeah, so my name's Dave McAnally. I'm my two main projects are Derision Cult and Sys Machine, off of Glitch Mode Recordings, which is industrial. I say industrial, but we're doing all kinds of stuff now.
Mm-hmm.
Out of
Branching out.
Chicago, Illinois.
Nice, Chicago.
All
Very
right.
good.
Yeah.
So I didn't even know you had this project. How long have you been doing Sys Machine?
Well, it started as a way for me to play with new samplers and synths and stuff, and so I would just kind of put things out randomly, and then maybe you know what I mean, just like, well, here's this thing I made, and I'd put it on Bandcamp and share it with some friends. But during the pandemic, I remember those first couple months when I was like, you really didn't go anywhere, and
Right.
I just, it was like there's a whole bunch of people just started kind of embracing Zoom and collaborating. At least for me, that was new. So probably in like 2020, it started turning into like a less of like a me just playing with some toys and putting it out there to as an artifact to let's actually put a project together. So I think of it as like the first kind of start is 2021, but I don't really do much, because it takes a while for these things to, and I just feel like the last 5 years there's just been so much coming at me. So we put out, there was the first kind of what I'd sort of say the first kind of flag planted was a EP called Graceful Isolation, which it was COVID, so we were all isolated. So
that makes sense.
But we had remixes from Spank the Nun, Blue Eyed Christ, the Joy Thieves, a few other people, and that's where I met Kimberly from Bow Over Down, who she's from out by you guys, or she was at one point.
Okay.
Who's lived in Maine for a long time.
Oh, actually, I don't think
she's originally from New Jersey. So.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
But anyway, so she, we did some vocal stuff together, and then I did some remixes for her and her project Bow Over Down, and then we just started kicking around track ideas, especially once I kind of got involved with Glitch Mode and everything Sean's doing. We started kicking this stuff around like 3 years ago, and just kind of between everything we had going on, we'd work on this stuff, and then Parts Unknown came to life. So it's really, it's kind of a thing that kind of lays dormant for a while and comes to life here and there. So mostly, it is a recording project. We haven't ever tried to do this live yet, but
okay.
I'm thinking I might. We've had people here in Chicago ask about it, and some other collaborators offering to, hey, I'll back you up on this and that. So we'll see. But it's been kicking around for a few years.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you brought up Parts Unknown. So tell us about, like, I guess the creative story that kind of, runs through it.
Well, there's a few, not a couple cool things, couple kind of downer things. I called it Parts Unknown because we really kind of mashed up some new things. There's a lot of acoustic elements on it.
Yeah.
And some like kind of Southern twang mashed up 90s trip hop beats. And
yes, I definitely heard that.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. So that was a big part musically. Because if you listen to like Cyanotic or Conformco or even like Derision Cult, you're pretty far removed stylistically from what we're doing here.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you guys know the band Porcupine Tree, but I love.
I've heard the name, but I don't know them.
The best way I could describe it is like if Rush were British and slightly less nerdy.
Okay.
But I don't know if Steve Wilson would like that description, but huge. They made some albums that all of us really love, and so that's where a lot of the inspiration for how to weave acoustics in with the electronics came into play.
Okay.
And that's that term Parts Unknown. It's this is gonna sound so cheesy, but when I was a kid, I used to watch like pro wrestling and stuff, and they always used to talk about the Ultimate Warriors from Parts Unknown, and like
Ah,
35 years later, that always stuck with me.
that's yeah. I mean, it's a cool. I don't know. It does sound pretty cool.
So, anyways,
Yeah.
it's been like gnawing on me or rattling in my brain for that'd be a cool thing to call something someday, and so it kind of fit for this. To your point, Emily, about themes, lyrically, there's a couple kind of points. I think when Kim and I are about the same age, so I feel like we're these people in our mid 40s, kind of changing. You get to a point in life where you feel like you kind of have things figured out, like this is who you're going to be, and I think that a lot of the lyrics are sort of embracing that a little.
Okay.
I think especially like this first song we put out, Doubtless, was it was actually, and I did a song called Abdication Day that was very similar. So I have a stepson that I've caught myself having to just impart how to adult advice, which is like really scary to have to do.
It's weird. It's weird. Yeah.
But a lot of some of the things I talked to him, themes I talked about, I sort of weave that into there. But that's a big one. There's a track on there called Closure. And it was kind of one I wasn't really sure I was going to do. But I thought, the music fit, and it seemed like a good one to put on here. But I guess it would have been 3 years ago. All of us, like, Sean, Brad, everybody from Glitch Mode, and really good buddy of mine, Drew. We're walking out of the Skin Puppy concert here in Chicago at the House of Blues. My buddy Drew got into an altercation or kind of a fight with one of those kind of grifter panhandler guys.
Oh yeah.
Oh, jeez.
And
Okay.
he died, kind of right here in my arms. And those lyrics are kind of me trying to explain to him. It was basically the last stuff I did.
When did that happen? I think I heard about that.
Yeah, it was in November of 2023. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It made its way, but yeah, though. So that was my buddy Drew, and
I'm sorry. Oh wow. I definitely
yeah.
heard. Yeah, there was. I mean, like that. Yeah. Anyway,
Well, it's a wild thing to go through for sure. I mean, I've never been through a heavy incident like that, but at the time, he it was one of those things where I'd quit drinking like 4 years ago, and he was still and he was still carrying on. And I remember like wanting to have a conversation with him about, dude, getting any younger here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Like throughout the night, we started talking about that, and then that happened, and so that song was kind of like things. And I remember thinking like what I was going to say to him when I got to the hospital, because and like it was going to be one of those like, hey, let's treat this like a wake up call, And I never got the chance to say that, and so
oh my god,
this song was, and the thing about it is Drew was a huge Fragile era 9 Inch Nails fan. Like that was like, and so the song kind of weaves around some of the tones and stuff. We use some samples from that era of Nails to put it together. It's sort of a tribute to him, but also Emily, kind of going back to that point about we're all kind of at a certain age and thinking about advice in life, and it just made sense to me to kind of cap it off with that, like. Maybe we're at a point where we should put away some childish things a little bit.
Wow.
And I haven't really explained what that was, or what that song was about. But we, and on the CDs, and there's a dedicated to Drew.
Oh, great.
That's definitely the kind of the heaviest one on there in terms of matter,
Yeah, I can imagine. Well, I'm going to go back when I go back and listen to that again. Now I'll have the story, and it'll give me a ton more context. So, shit. Yeah, I remember because, like, when Scuppy came around and toured, I saw them in Philly, and I overheard. I think the Chicago show was before, It was their last tour. Yeah. And I heard, because used to have some mutual friends out in Chicago, and like, oh my God, I was at the show and outside, yada yada. You were really close to it, to say the least.
And that was and it was, he was, Drew was like my buddy for like 25 years. And like but it was, if I'm being totally honest, I mean, he was having health problems and stuff, and but yeah, it Kevin Key was really cool about it,
Oh, okay.
Did some nice things, and
that's nice.
we got we got condolences and stuff from I mean, certainly one thing they did, but
no, of course.
But it is what it is. But that was people were all really, the community was really compassionate about it. And the funny thing was, not to sound like I don't mean to make this whole thing sound like a downer. But,
no, it's fine.
Yeah.
After our last episode, which was insanely silly, maybe this is a good thing.
Yeah. Get serious, if it's warranted, sure.
Well, a few months before that, Sean got in that accident. I don't know if you remember this, but Sean Payne had gotten in that accident with his wife, and she died leaving that Skinny Puppy show. So we've had a year. That was the Minneapolis show. So it was a really strange year for Skinny Puppy concerts.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
and I don't read too much in those kind of things.
No, yeah, but yeah, it's crazy that happened like on their last tour and everything.
Yeah, I think we were pretty well ready to have Skinny Puppy be done after that.
No offense. I mean, like, yes and no, but yeah, when all that stuff happens.
Yeah.
Oh man. My next question sounds like a kind of an odd follow-up. But since you were talking about the album anyway, I mean, gosh, I know you had you were talking before about guest vocalists on I think two tracks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. What made you make that choice for
well,
this
Kim
album?
has been, so Kim's really she's an interesting character. So Kim, first of all, she's a wonderful singer.
Yeah, agreed.
If you ever listen, and she collaborates with everybody. I mean, she has done, and she works. She really likes to, lend vocals, and and I get on. She lives across the country, but she's kind of been a friend for a while, and Kim. We've done a bunch of stuff we actually did a bunch of country songs together too.
Wow.
Okay.
One of these days I'll figure out something to do with. But, so Kim got introduced to me by a friend of mine who she'd been on his stuff. And, I'd always wanted to do something with a female vocalist. And, my friend Gabe was, you got to talk to Kim. And so she was on that Graceful Isolation that, first, what I think of as the first Sys Machine album. And, went really good. And she, like I said, really easy to work with. She's real tight, She's like, singers, like, you kind of got to edit them. Like, Kim nails the beat. She's a really good piano player too.
Oh, nice.
So, it came about through just an intro from a friend. But like I said, you'll see Kim all over stuff. She's been not quite as active lately, because funny enough, right after we recorded all the Parts Unknown stuff, she moved sort of on it's a number of reasons, but Kim now lives in the northern part of Iraq and is working. Of all places, from Maine to there, right?
Right.
Wow. Yeah.
There's been some
culture change.
Right. So it's actually, if you follow her on Facebook, it's fascinating because she kind of documents what's like, the cultural, what's like to move into Iraq, and well, she thinks of it as, she would say she lives in Kurdistan, which is, it's kind of like on the Turkish border.
Oh, okay.
It's not to go into whole history, but I'll tell you what, it's been fascinating watching her do the kind of vicariously, like, wow, what an interesting,
right,
life. But it's very Western in a lot of ways. You know, she'll have pictures of her hanging out at a wine bar and things like that. And
Okay.
I think a lot of expats, like people
Mm.
might, tend to be there.
Okay.
But anyways, so she's doing that now, and I know she's kind of working on getting her studio back up and running. So I
Mhm.
expect to do more with her. But no, it's been a she's definitely a fascinating character to watch in socials right now.
Oh
Just
man, I gotta follow her. Yeah.
you know,
Afterwards, I'll have to get her handle so I can
her
just like.
cats, her bird, and her dog, and
Oh man, living a completely different life. That is insane.
That
Um,
is
oh man. Well, you kind of touched on this a little bit too. So yeah, you mentioned like there's a couple different genres on Parts Unknown and maybe Sys Machine in general. And then also maybe with your other project, I imagine like completely different. Um, Parts Unknown still, while it has a couple different genres, I feel like it's still cohesive. But do you have like a favorite style? I know you're like kind of blending a lot though.
yeah.
well, I really, with like Derision Cult, it's like kind of ministry heavy.
Right.
And I love doing that, and like, playing with Pig. That's definitely, Ray plays a lot of his heavier stuff live, and
Hmm.
I always like softer melodic things. And so when I brought these tracks to Sean, like demos to Sean originally, they weren't very beat heavy,
Hmm.
and so I kind of thought of it as more sort of ethereal ambient type music. And Sean heard it and he's like, dude, we got to put some trip hop beats on this. And
Okay, so that was kind of his influence.
right. And he heard a lot of like Portishead,
Mm-hmm.
the Kim tracks. And so it started life very kind of almost like Brian Eno-y, where it's like sort of ambient. And Sean and Brad brought, really pushed to make it a lot more, beat driven.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think the two elements, a combination of that kind of melody and the trip hop stuff is what really makes me happy. What I really like about these tracks. Like a good example is that song Shallow that has, it's sort of like the twang. It sounds like a Twin Peaks guitar.
Right.
That was all that was. I didn't even have any beats in there. All those big kind of distorted trip hop beats. That was all, Sean brought that in, and some of the kind of synth noisy elements. So, kind of once we kind of brought our own things to the pot, it ended up with this kind of trip hop meets acoustic thing. And I'm really happy with that. I think, I think we really kind of touched on some stuff that we, neither of us had, or none of us had really done before.
Yeah, it definitely has a really original sound. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't hear too much trip hop, and it's like newer stuff.
Well, it's I love those beats, man. And I wasn't hearing it. I'll be honest. I really, that was Sean heard that. And to me, when he first brought that up, I'm like, wait, what? That's how it goes. Sometimes you just mash it together, and sometimes there are experiments that go sideways, and sometimes they turn out really awesome. And yeah, there was some really cool moments like that on here.
Nice.
All right. So obviously you said you haven't done Sys Machine Live. Do you have any other shows coming up that you can talk about?
Yeah, well, we were talking, I'm going to be playing guitar for Pig at Dark Force Fest, and
Very nice.
There's some things in the fall potentially happening with that. Derision Cult's doing a run of shows at the end of May through just kind of the Midwest. Some of those with our friends Absinthe of Fate out of Minneapolis. So really looking forward to that, because those are super good guys. So that'll be fun. And we're really kind of we played some shows kind of earlier in the year. We're really kind of retooling our our live sound a little bit with Derision. All of us around kind of the Glitch Mode farm have been really really into kind of what this movement with industrial, with obviously like Health, but like King Yosef and Black Magnet, and these bands that really lean into like hardcore. Like
yeah, King Yosef. I mean, geez, yeah, they're so heavy.
just saw him with Author and Punisher weeks
Yep.
ago, and yeah, that's been kind of a moment for me. I'm late to the game on King Yosef. I don't know if when he came into your orbit, Emily, but that's like in the last 6 months for me.
I think when they played with Youth Code, yeah, is that who it was?
Probably, yeah.
It's like, yeah, big fan of Youth Code, and I think they did a collaborative thing with King Yosef, and I was just like, this is very heavy.
Slabs and
yeah.
You know, the way we described it, this is one of these like sitting up late debating the stars and moon and everything. Like when I kind of came into music as like a metal kid, you know.
Oh, really? Okay.
Rhythms and groove and that music, like especially with like King Yosef and Youth Code, that seems to be more about pressure, you know. What makes it heavy? I mean, really, I mean, it's like there's that kind of the sonic pressure that those things create, because some of them feel like they're about to destroy your speakers. Like when I love that. I think that's so cool. So that's a long-winded way of me saying we're looking to incorporate a lot of those elements into what we do live. And so there's a band out of Oklahoma called Black Magnet I like a lot.
Okay.
Kind of in the same vein. They bring a lot more kind of Godfleshy vibes to what they do.
Okay.
Yeah, big fan of. It feels like there's this new movement happening with, where hardcore is really hard. Like people who kind of came by way of hardcore into this. There's some bands, Choke Chain out of Madison kind of reminds me of that a little bit.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, and actually the group that we just talked to earlier this week, which we'll get put up right before this one, Decent News, they're like thrash metal American hardcore. And I'm thinking like you probably would dig their sound, although they're kind of like every hardcore band that I've seen at like like small little basement shows, they kind of I don't want to say they all sound the same, because that's not true. But I think when you combine it with like industrial or metal, then it sounds a little bit more unique for sure.
Yeah.
But
well, I think that kind of the sort of hard, for lack of a better term, sort of those genty elements, like when you bring synths into those things,
that makes it much more interesting, in my opinion.
Yeah,
for me.
Right, I'm the same way, and I just like I said, as a metal thrash guy, I don't know. I guess it just resonates with me. But so
that's great.
We've been working on is, like I said, that sonic pressure is the big is like our buzzword that we use.
Nice.
So
you briefly mentioned it. So how'd you get how'd you get involved with working with Pig?
That's kind of been in the works for a while.
Okay.
There was so Raymond and Jim Davies are kind of the head honchos of Pig,
right?
And when Jim's he does like the UK shows, and they're playing in Tokyo, and he'll do that. But sometimes Raymond will do runs where Jim's not able to travel, and so he needs he needs players to play with him for that,
right?
And that's kind of where I came in. But we have a book, kind of a shared booking agent that kind of made an intro, and I hit it off pretty good with Raymond. It's working with him and Jim is it's been a cool education, on just the precision of the Pig material, and there's a lot of kind of angular things that require a lot of concentration and stuff, But,
right. Hopefully making you a better like live musician. And
I think so. It's not the kind of music you can like twirl your hair around, put your foot on the monitor, and
right.
Yeah, all that. I mean, it's kind of deceptively complex. But,
you have to pay attention.
It's a cool set, It's really fun digging into those tracks because there's so many. Any music like that has so many layers to it.
Yeah.
You'll be like, oh man, there is a guitar riff or some guitar bit going on there that I hadn't heard before,
That's interesting. Yeah. I mean, there's always new challenges when you're playing something live, you know, and maybe switch it up from whatever's the recorded version is.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm, you know,
As long
especially,
as you're allowed to be allowed to, you know. do
yeah, you're definitely, I'm definitely kind of a hired gun in that.
that. Yeah.
It's, well, for me at least, especially, you know, with the new things, because Pig has an album, Hurt People Hurt, which will be out in May. And they've been dropping singles, and I really want to make sure whatever I do, I'm playing it, you know, the way Jim.
Yeah.
Right.
True too.
You know, in all the tracks. I mean, Raymond's got very specific ways he wants things done, but you know, whenever, and Jim Davies such a fantastic player and creative guy. It's like the last thing you want. It's not my place to come in and, you know,
Right.
try to meddle with that, you know.
Yeah, not your material.
Right,
Sure.
but
Yeah.
no, it's cool. I'll tell you what, I'm a big fan of what I've heard from the upcoming. The upcoming Pig will be heavy for sure.
Nice.
Oh, nice. Yeah, are we gonna hear some of that at Dark Force?
Yeah, and we'll definitely play those. You know, the stuff that's out right now, and
Right.
yeah, he's got a few things, a few really old hits. I don't know, probably can't really talk about the set, but
yeah, sure.
Some surprises. I think things for
Okay.
everyone. There'll be the hits and all that. So.
Sure.
Cool.
Yeah. Oh, I'm looking forward to that. I'll try to not to miss it. It's so, you know how Dark Force is.
I'll be looking for you.
Yeah. I'll probably be way in the back in the.
Not me. I'll be up front.
Yeah.
The only place I enjoy a show is if I'm right in the front.
Yeah. I wear these like 6-inch platform boots because I'm 5'1", and if I wear those, I can kind of see from the back.
Yeah, it's funny. That's how the Metro is. Well, actually, have either you been to Chicago or been to?
No, I want to go. But it's on my list. It's on the list.
That's like a mecca for this.
I know. Cold Blaze, yeah, hell yeah.
It's not a very deep room, so you know, it's kind of a short, narrow thing. So you can if you're in that main room, you're no more than 75 feet from the stage, no matter where.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. You mean it's not like a giant convention,
right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a really wide, not very deep room.
Oh, nice. Yeah. I like the smaller, somewhat, or like mid-sized to smaller venues, because then you could hear, acoustics are good. You could hear and see everything, no matter where you are.
Right.
Yeah. But kind of more like a higher level question, you know, how you can take this however you want. But what's the most difficult but also the most rewarding part of just being a musician in general, would you say? I know it's tough.
Yeah, well, I think it's so funny because when you ask that, I'm thinking about, God, there's a number of ways you can answer that. But I think, you know, I think the most difficult part is depending on what you want to do. If you know if you want to just kind of get a sound in your head and put it out and just kind of point to something and say, "Hey, I made that." I think, you know, and there, you know, I'm that's a very valid reason to create music. I think the most difficult part just becomes kind of being proficient at your, you know, at your instrument of choice or whatever you're, you know, because like it's a pain in the ass at first. Like, how do compressors work? How do we make all these sound? You know, especially if you're making this kind of music where there's a lot of layers and stuff. So the mechanics. But I think if your goal is you want to build something and you know, create a project that has a following or like collaborate with people, then I think the difficulties start to become more kind of pushing through the failure.
Okay.
I've had, you know, whenever I talk to people, you know, whether it's like a Raymond or, you know, we've collaborated with, you know, like Reeves DeBrels from The Cure's played on Derision stuff, you know, and you don't get much higher than being David Bowie's guitarist, but you know, even people like that, there's a degree of pushing through the failure, but also I think staying humble,
Oh yeah.
it's been that's been a really educational thing. I've been lucky to be in the room with people that operate at those altitudes and people that aren't really that, but they kind of are in their own kind of legends in their own mind a little bit.
Right.
And I tell you, it just seems like it can be I'm not putting myself on those levels, but I think that can be a real trap to fall into. Is not losing that kind of humbleness, but going back to the pushing through the failure thing. I mean, I think every musician struggles with you put a track out or you put something out there and it just kind of goes thud,
Yeah. No traction.
There's no such thing as anybody who's done anything that hasn't been through that, It's really difficult for people to, you see artists, you're always seeing the world at people at different phases of their musical careers or whatever. So I think pushing through that failure, but like I said, the people that I've seen that really have, like to me, Reeves is probably the closest person to me that's like
right
on that level, and just how humble and kind and respectful he is. Justin Broderick's another one who, working with him, and it's inspirational. It's definitely a way to live. But I think, these are people who've pushed through a lot of failures and stuff to get to where they are. And but I see a lot of people get burned out because of that or frustrated. So, it's funny, Emily. I said all the bad things and didn't talk.
I hope there's something rewarding about it.
There's always rewards on the other side.
Sure.
When you do, like for me, when we do make something that we're really proud of, like when we did those animated videos and they really took off. When you put a lot of work into something and it resonates with people, that's really rewarding. Lately, I've found just when I collaborate with people and they see something different than I do, and where we end up is kind of a 1 + 1 = 3. I really enjoy those things, and I didn't for a long time. I was a bit of my own little tyrant, but I think being able to collaborate and have the same aim, but end up in a place that neither of you thought you'd get to. And when you have those moments, those are really cool.
For sure.
And you got to be willing to be wrong for those to work, You're stuck in your own ways or you're stuck in the mud. You don't get to experience those things. So
that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. So this question is a little bit off the wall, but everyone has enjoyed it. Describe the most interesting venue bathroom you've ever visited and interpret that however you want.
Well, I grew up in Iowa, Eryk, so I played some farm gigs.
Oh, geez.
Oh no.
Cornfields and
do they have bathrooms at those gigs?
No, you go where the cows go.
Oh no.
Oh, jeez.
Not even a porta potty.
But what's funny? They did. I've seen this in a couple. It seems like it got hip for a while, and then I don't know if like HIPAA or OSHA or somebody came along and put a stop to it. But I'm not going to name names of the venue, but there was a theater here in Chicago for a long time that like Pigface played, and and they had this thing where they had men's and women's bathrooms kind of together, but there was basically just a wall down the middle that came up to about here.
Oh, they're not private.
Right. And it's so, oh God, my wife, she wouldn't go.
Oh no. I don't care for that.
They put a stop to that, I was told.
Good.
I don't know what the impetus or the inspiration was for that. But there was like 3 for like a year there. I kept there's like 3 or 4 places like that, but that one theater in particular, So that was a little strange.
That's insane.
No.
Yeah,
I'm glad that the guy nixed. Yeah. No.
Did you ever go to CBGB's, Emily?
No, I never had the pleasure.
That's a bathroom you don't want to spend a lot of time in.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've heard. Someone else brought that up.
Yeah.
I never played there. I'd been there before.
Right.
I've seen photos. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Liars Club, that's a rock venue here in Chicago. Some of those it's like punk to the core. Like that door may or may not stay shut,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you better have somebody guarding it for you.
Yeah, if somebody runs by too quick and a wind picks it up, that
Oh.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's a match, sometimes there's not.
No such thing as privacy. Yeah, it's just like if you maybe just don't drink too much so you don't have to go.
I always love, especially rock venues. I always love it when there's tons of stickers and stuff.
Yeah, those are cool.
I'll end up just kind of spending way too much time in those things, just looking around and all.
Oh, for sure.
Mm-hmm. They're great for photos too. It's just like, there's a couple clubs out in Philly. I go to Philly usually, and they're really good clubs. Pasted the mirror above the sinks, just you can barely see yourself through all the stickers.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's just like, I'll stick my sticker up there. You know what I mean?
Right.
Really, but you can't even find a room to do it.
Yeah, to me, that's what a rock club bathroom should be. And
Yeah, and you're looking at the stickers like, I don't know any of these bands. What the hell?
Right. I know, like the Metro, they clean them, but
boo. That's bullshit.
But anyways, that's the hallmark of a cool venue is if it's just stickers everywhere.
Yeah. Or even just like fun drawings. Sometimes that can be. Sometimes they can be fun, or messages back and forth. I'll see that sometimes in like some club bathrooms. Especially in the like the all gender bathroom. You'll have like messages back and forth. Which is it's entertaining. It's just like, oh wow, there's a whole long thing. I'll come back a couple months later.
Been going on for years.
Yeah.
Band comes through, they have a message to the band that was here. From last year.
Yeah, it's perfect. I love it. So yeah, I guess just what message, as we're gonna kind of like land playing a little bit. What message do you have for the viewers? Any words of encouragement for maybe somebody trying to get into the business or the scene or anything like that, or just whatever's on your mind, actually.
Well, it's funny. I was just talking to somebody the other day about, like Emily, that question about getting into a scene. I think one of the things, well, first of all, find people you can work with. I think it's you can get a lot further. You can get a lot further helping people with what their goals are, than you can just trying to kind of try to go create art with main character syndrome. You can do it, but you get a lot further. I think one thing that we've been doing with glitch mode is, and I was thinking about this in the context of what I would do. Something that used to be big that I feel like, and there are people doing it still. Like I know Distortion does it with like the Electronic Savior stuff, and they're out your way.
Yeah. Well, sort of. Yeah, other side of PA, but they'll be at Dark Force. So repping. Jim. Yep, he's got his stable there.
Yep.
And is he playing with 16?
No, I don't think he's.
I thought he was playing with somebody, but not as himself.
Not Red Locust. Yeah.
16 volt, I thought.
I
think so. Yeah.
Right, he's playing with 16 volt. Oh, that'll be cool.
Eric's a good guy, Eryk Powell. He's a friend of the show, friend of the family for us. But anyways, I was gonna say like them and what's that? It doesn't matter. There's a label in Texas that does this. But I know Dread Risks is on them. But I think comps are a great way to get a scene going that like
Oh yeah.
doesn't take any initiative other than a will to do it,
Mhm.
especially now. And what's cool about them is that, you can kind of get a almost kind of scene by default. So I think, especially like I said, I grew up in Iowa where, some of those states where there's not, a Chicago or a Philly or I guess
Right.
Eryk out in Maine, like where
Yeah,
there's,
Portland.
Yeah.
yeah, if you can find like-minded artists and just put a comp out and everyone promotes it, you're almost kind of like part of a scene by default. And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
found that like, because we've put out a few glitch mode comps in my time
Mhm.
with the crew. Man, it's you don't get a lot of no's, like
No, that's
this.
great.
Right.
And like what Jim does, I mean, like, especially if it's to raise money for a good cause, I mean, then you
Oh
just got like people like, please,
Right.
yeah. And then
yeah,
we have my partner has bought every single electronic saviors, and we picked up the deluxe version at last year's Dark Force. We had Jim
Mhm.
sign it and everything. You know what I mean?
oh, very cool.
Poster, everything. Oh my god. Yeah. I mean, because we're it's just like it's for cancer research, you know what I
Right.
mean? So
We were on. I was on the sixth one, right?
oh
Or
yeah?
yeah.
Okay. Under Derision Cult?
Well, because then he stopped for a little while.
Yeah,
Right.
he did.
So
Yes.
pick
Yeah,
them
yeah,
back
yeah. I
up.
think last year's was was that the first in a little while? I'm trying to think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's why it was even
It's-
bigger deal, I
I
think.
mean, you don't necessarily have to go because Jim. I mean, those things are. Those are legit. That's a lot of the
Oh,
multi.
there's so much.
You don't
There's
have
so
to
much.
really have to do that, but I think just find a way to make a statement in a scene.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's not that the barrier to entry to that is not high.
Mhm.
Like-minded people, and but I think that's a really good thing. But I guess bringing it back to me, uh,
Mhm.
I when you're saying things I'd want to say to people, like Parts Unknown is available now. It's on Bandcamp, I
Yep.
guess tomorrow, or I know this will come out in a little bit, but it's
Mhm.
streaming everywhere. Really
Okay.
happy with it.
Nice.
We've so look for us there. I hope if see people at Dark Force Fest, and you can follow us on glitchmode.com or
Mhm.
derisioncult.com. Has all of our news there as well.
Yeah. And,
Yeah.
in May 1st, first day Dark Forest or whatever, that's, Bandcamp Friday, I think.
Oh,
So,
that's right. It is first
yeah.
Friday in the month.
Mhm.
Boy, that'd be a gong show to put out a track that day. But
I know. We know of a couple other musicians that's they try to time it sometimes for Bandcamp Friday. So you know
sure. Well, for everyone who's watching, that's if you're gonna buy something on Bandcamp, that's a great time to do it because
yep.
they
Yep.
waive the fees. So for
Mhm.
artists that can go a long way, especially if you're selling something like a vinyl or something like that, where
Yeah.
Yeah.
rare
Mhm.
price items. So
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna try. I mean, it's gonna be hard because we're gonna be so busy. But yeah, I'm hoping we can pick up a couple things when we got some downtime in the hotel. Um, but
Maybe in
yeah,
the
yeah.
morning before you even leave your room.
Yeah, pretty much like first thing in the morning and then forget about it for the rest
Yeah.
of the day. But yeah, no glitch mode yeah, I got to pick up some of the comps just to check it out. Is Rabbit Junks on your label too, right? I'm
they
thinking.
were, yeah, Jake
Or they were.
their own thing now, but yeah,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
they're
And then
on
they
a
moved.
I mean, that was kind of before my time, but yeah,
Mm,
they're on a couple of the comps,
yeah.
very early ones, and
Mhm.
they've done some Rabbit Junk versus Cyanotic type things.
Oh,
Remember that when they used to do remixes like that?
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is really cool. They'll be at Dark Force too. That's why I brought them up.
That's right. Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
No, I like. They always have the coolest merch. Rabbit Junk.
Oh my
They do.
yeah.
What was
So
the
they
last
got,
one? The hoodies with the rabbit ears.
The hoodies with
well,
the rabbit ears.
these neon slap
Oh
bracelets.
yeah, they got these
Yeah.
bracelets now that like glow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
No, they're clever like that. There's so many bands that put out stuff that I'm like, damn, wish I would have thought of that.
I mean,
Absolutely.
I mean, you can always do your own version of it. I don't know. Why not?
We did. What's funny is I think we came out with some hot sauce. And
Nice.
that well, it was. I partnered with, I had a buddy who has a hot sauce company out of Kansas City, and we had this track that actually Chris Connolly sang. Chris Connolly sang on it, and Reeves Cabrels played lead guitars. So
Oh my god! Wow,
just this like crazy. And then Martin Atkins did a remix of it. So yeah,
oh wow, that's crazy.
Who's who? But
shit.
The track was called Death Blood, and I just remember thinking, man, that'd be a cool name for a hot sauce. So
yeah,
life, and man, we couldn't keep it in stock. It's like it was
smart.
Like, because like, well, we made it so it wasn't super spicy, you know.
Oh, okay, all right, then I could handle that.
And it was black because it's got like it was like a black hot sauce. And so anyway, we it got to be it's tough shipping hot sauce all over, you know.
Yeah, I would bet. It's not like bracelets.
Yeah, and people start ordering them from different countries, and you have to
geez.
What it is you're shipping. And,
yeah.
It's just hot sauce.
Yeah. The customs. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
let me see if that's in the prohibited list of items. Oh, what ingredients are in it? And yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you know, it got a little hard to keep going, but it was funny because it just, I mean, the bottles look cool and everything, but at any rate, yeah, we did good with that. You know, it's funny, he's talking about merch. I think I don't know if you've noticed this, but for us, like, you know, there's always shirts, stickers, and you know, CDs, but patches are always the hardest. Those always fly off the show. They're the hardest thing to block. And I
hate to me how many patches I have that I haven't even attached to anything because I don't know where to put them.
Yeah,
right. You know, but yeah, anytime we do runs of patches, they're like gone. So
yeah, I'm a big fan of enamel pins or just like buttons in general, just because like I'm not going to sew a patch on my jacket, but I can just pop a pin on, you know, that's easy.
Yeah, a pin would be cool. We have, there's some glitch mode pins that, you know,
oh cool.
Yeah, those I actually don't know where they are right now. You know, in a bin somewhere, but
yeah.
We've started doing industrial nights here in Chicago. So we've got one at the G-Man Tavern, which I know you guys haven't been there, but it's the bar right next to Metro. We're doing that in July, and we've got a couple other ones, but we kind of have a big all things glitch mode pop-up store at those. We just had a really good one up in Milwaukee weeks ago. And anyways, it's just, you know, we don't have any bands play. It's just kind of a DJ night. And, but it's fun because you get to spin a lot of stuff that, you know, you wouldn't hear. And I'll be honest, you know, Sean's, you know, those guys are all DJ. I learned how little I know about the art form of being a good DJ.
I know it's tough. It's, you know, I guess some people are like, you see some musicians like they do that already. I don't know what they did first. If they were a musician or a DJ first, I don't know. But I picked up a cheap little controller. I'm like, this is
cool.
Even the most basic one. It's just like there's so many functions on this thing. And it's gonna take me years.
I was just thinking more of well, yeah, there's that, but just the, you know, watching the room and keeping the pay. Okay.
Oh yeah, well, okay, doing mixing stuff live. Yeah. How do you curate to like? How do you read the room? Yeah.
I'm like an idiot like that because you know, you guys, let's play some George Jones. That'll, you know.
Yeah, just whatever pops into your head.
Right, and anyways, I've learned the subtle art of really making a floor move. I've learned there is an art to it. I just thought it happened, but
yeah, it's magic.
There's a method to what the DJ is doing.
Oh yeah, I don't know what it is, but they definitely have some kind of magic that I don't possess. So yeah, I guess just plug your socials for both bands and where people can find you.
That has like always, that's probably the easiest place to find us, and the Sys Machine things, because we kind of, it's sort of it's a sub project of that, but we'll be spinning all the Parts Unknown tracks at the Glitch Mode events, and got some live Derision Cult things, and now Pigs in the Fold. So it's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Fold made me immediately think, you know, got Pigs in the Blanket.
Pigs in the Fold, Pigs in the Back blanket. Yeah. And then we're looking forward to seeing you in New Jersey. So that'll be awesome.
Yeah, that'll be fun. I'm there's a few I mean, I know Jim Simonic really well.
Right.
You know, Cold Waves and stuff we've done with Distortion, but there's a whole bunch of the, you know, because I don't really I'll go out west, but I haven't really been on the East Coast much. So
Oh, really? No.
Yeah, that's probably going to start changing, but
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
people.
Yeah, I mean, like, we've got a lot going on. I mean, not just New Jersey. Like, yeah, New York City's always got shit happening. I
Right.
mean, Philly, you know, literally 2 days after, I mean, the calendar. Oh my God, my calendar is just, this is typical for me. But yeah, after Dark Forest, we got like another show and a couple shows before the end of May. And, and I also try to like talk to other musicians, get some interviews.
Yeah, right.
But, like, there's so much happening, PA, New
Right.
Jersey, New York, Delaware. Yeah.
Our drummer's from he lived in Philly for a long time, Jesse Hunt. And,
Okay.
a ton of bands out there.
Mhm.
And he's always said that. Yeah, there's a really vibrant scene in Philly. So
There's a lot of people. You know what I mean? There's a lot of clubs. There's a lot of people. A lot of. I mean, just the scene is great, and Philly itself is so gritty. Like New York City is like, it's great. Brooklyn's great. Whatever. But like Philly is just so dirty. And like, I don't know, something about it just lends itself to industrial and the goth nights, whatever. But yet at the same time, it's actually pretty welcoming compared to like some New York clubs. I'd say it's a little less pretentious.
yeah, I can see that.
Yeah,
Chicago has a bit of that Midwest earnestness too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's on my bucket list. I've never been to the West Coast a little bit, but like never been to Chicago. I gotta go. I gotta go to a Cold Waves or something.
Yep, same.
Yeah, Cold Wave. Yeah, after Cold Waves, it starts. No pun intended. It starts getting not that fun because it gets cold here.
Oh,
well, it does in Philly too. But
no. Are you kidding? We had the most brutal winter. Jesus, yeah, but I mean, Chicago's probably got us beat, and so does Maine.
Yeah, it snowed here 2 days ago.
Yeah.
It really, wow.
Yeah. Well,
it didn't stick, it melted, but still, it came friggin' down. Those flakes were big, and I'm like,
yeah,
better not.
Yeah, we're in the phase now where the weather, like one day it's like almost 80, and the next potential snow, and it like stays like that for about a month, and then
that's typical for April.
Yeah, Chicago. If you're gonna come in the summer because it's
okay.
Don't come in January.
Noted. No. I'm definitely not going there in January. Awesome. Well, thank you for the travel tips. I appreciate it. Yeah. And yeah, thanks again for taking the time. And I guess we'll just see you at the end of the month. So
sure. Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah. All right. Take it easy, everybody.
All right.
I'm Angie.
Hi, I'm Johnny. We are Dead Cool, and you're watching
Moon Burns Productions.